In this episode, I drive through some mud, I sit in a wooden box in the woods staring at a lovely pair of birds. This is Squirrel Shooting, and this is Team Foxer. I like to start my squirrel sessions nice and early, half an hour before first light. I find this way, if you're in position before the squirrels would naturally start feeding, you can yield the best results. Once I've got all my kit in the hide and all of my cameras set up, it's time to go and move the car back as the sun just appears over the horizon. I've got a total of 4 cameras. I've got the GoPro I'm actually recording this on, plus 2 cameras trained on and close to the feeder, as well as the ATN 4K Pro scope footage. We should be able to capture plenty of angles. The first hungry visitor this morning is a noisy jay. As the greenkeeper does an early pass with the leaf blower just behind the feeder location, the jay absconds, and you hear the unmistakable chatter there of the grey squirrel. Clearly he's not happy about something. I lose him in the tree canopy, but a good few minutes later he arrives on the feeder tree, clearly still agitated. You can just see to the left of the squirrel there something grey on the floor, of which I would later discover was actually a dead pigeon. So whether it was that was causing the squirrel some agitation, I'm not too sure. I did, however, when I went to retrieve this one, go and move it just so that it didn't put any of the other squirrels off. Finally, he settles into the feed location and I can get ready for the shot. There's no need to rush this when shooting squirrels, because once they've settled on the feeder, pick your moment, make sure you're still, and then take the shot. It's worth keeping a bead on grey squirrels because they can be incredibly hardy little creatures. That one though, stone dead. And an absolute, almost perfect double backflip there, so we'll give that one a 7.8. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. As the glorious sun breaks through the woodland, it's not quite as fast-paced action as I've seen here in the past, but it's a pleasurable morning to be out in the countryside nevertheless. As squirrel number 2 comes into play, he spends quite some considerable time in and around the feeder, giving it a good old sniff, but just wouldn't settle. I've had to fast forward this next little clip because it was several minutes before the squirrel eventually went around the back of the tree and I lost sight of it momentarily. Again, you need a fair amount of patience for this type of shooting, but one thing that experience has taught me is eventually the squirrel is likely to make a return. And make a return he does, though I'm not too sure why he's so intent on chewing my feeder rather than the peanuts that are in abundance instead. He must pay the price. Get off my box. Judging by the reaction on the floor of this squirrel, I wasn't satisfied that that was a clean enough kill, so I had to break cover. I took the rifle with me and put one in point blank just to make sure of the dispatch. That was actually the moment I picked up the 2 squirrels, plus got rid of that pigeon. Time for a brew.
Well, it just goes to show that the best laid plans don't always pay off. We've only had the 2. I'll stick it out for a little while longer because you don't know, and it is a cracking morning to be out here in the woods. The sunrise behind me this morning was absolutely beautiful, and right now it's still relatively early doors. You know, but there's plenty of birds benefiting from the feeder. As you can see, there are blue tits, great tits, chaffinches. I've seen the woodpecker. First visitor this morning was actually a jay. You know, beautiful bird. They're a bit of a pain in the ass for the countryside, but there you go. So my plan now would be to probably move locations. I'll keep the feeder here, but I'm going to move and concentrate on a different wood for the squirrels, because it's quite clear and evident that there's probably not a massive problem here. So I think we're pretty much now on top. We have had probably a good 50 squirrels out of this wood, I think, in the time that I've been coming here. So we'll keep going and just see what happens.
Just as I think about calling it an early morning, I capture sight of squirrel number 3. I guess I'll be sticking around for a little while longer after all. This one, a lot less cautious, is straight up onto the feeder and straight into the sitting position. Perfect. Yep, too busy pressing record on the other 3 cameras to forget to actually record the shot footage on the ATN. Never mind, that one folded on itself. Once again, I went out to retrieve it. Upon closer inspection of that squirrel, there was nothing wrong with that shot placement. It's back to the hide to see if we can account for at least another 1 or 2 before we think about heading home. One piece of kit vital for helping you spot the greys in and amongst all of the foliage is a thermal spotter. Here I'm using HIKMICRO's neat little unit, the Lynx Pro 19mm. My patience is duly rewarded as squirrel number 4 comes to join the dinner table following the same route as squirrel number 3. However, this one would leave the dining table in the most dramatic fashion, losing a massive amount of eye juice. Check this out. Sorry, what was that? You didn't catch it? You wanted to see it slower from a different angle? Sure thing, here you go. Here's the slow-mo. Well, the call of nature and the rumble in my tummy tells me it's about time to pack up and head for home. Well, we've come to the end of the session. We've reached lunchtime. We did only account for 4 grey squirrels, but we've done some good for the native songbirds, and of course it's always enjoyable to be out. I really enjoyed watching all of the birds come to the feeder and benefiting from the shooting and conservation that goes on in this area. If you like this type of content and you want to see more, please don't forget to smash that subscribe button, give it a like, and feel free to share this content with like-minded people. For now, I just want to say thank you very much for watching, take care, stay safe, and as always, happy shooting.